Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show.
How's it going, guys? Josh Marcy here, host of the E-com Performance Marketing Show, and I have another incredible guest. I have a legend here. This is Tommie Traffic. Now, if you're nicknamed Traffic, it means you know a thing or two about running traffic effectively and profitably and at scale. He's one of the legends in digital advertising, and he is one of the best when it comes to YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, you name it. And I'm really excited to bring him into the show. He's got a ton going on. He's super busy. Clients are just like trying to hire him left and right. And he has decided to spend a little time with us today to dive into some specific strategies that he helps clients implement into their businesses. This way they can do traffic the Tommie Traffic way. So I'm really excited to have Tommie here on the show. Tommie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for that intro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, it was authentic, man. I appreciate you on the show, and legend precedes itself.
Hey, I try, man. I'm just trying to save a couple souls along the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. So if you could maybe just tell the audience a bit about your backstory and how you got started in advertising and digital marketing, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a winding road. You know how these things go, but, really with the digital ads kind of started in 2007, doing affiliate marketing. Well, I was doing a bunch of other stuff. You know how I go when you get in the game, you trying different things, and affiliate marketing thing was like, I think I can do this. And then I was just struggling to kind of get traffic, basically, because it was like, I need more people on these links. You know, that was my mindset. Somebody on a forum was like, you should sign up with a Google. You don't have a Google account? I was like, nah, but I done seen ads on Google. It was like, yeah, you can run those ads and put your links in there and this, So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And man, created a Google account. That was 2007. Had some success with the affiliate stuff. Then translated into the agency side, and that was 13 years ago. So still I kind of like fell in love with the dashboard and the data and the graphs and charts and all of that, and I kind of like felt at home. And even before I really made any money, I knew like, okay, I think I'm gonna sit in this lane. I'm just sit in this lane, and I'm gonna figure this out. And I've been doing it ever since.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, like, what got you exposed to marketing? How'd you dive into that, lane?
Man, trying to make some money, dude. Like 2007, I tell this story a lot. I had congestive heart failure, and I was really in the management field. These doctors and all of these people is like, stressful. It took me a while to kind of get back up on my feet too. So I was like I kind of knew about the internet. I had done some stuff way back. I had done some eBay stuff. I had made a couple dollars, messing around with internet over the years, but I never took it serious. And so I was just at a point where I was like, man, I need to figure out a way to provide for my family. And I think the internet is it. And I was just on a mission to kind of find something that I could sink my teeth in. And when I ran across it, I'm like, this makes a lot of sense because it's just buy low. At least even before the traffic, right, it was just kind of, and then once I kind of understood the Google ads, it's kind of like buy low, sell high. If I can make a commission for less than it costs to get it, I can pocket the difference. Like, I know that game, you know what I mean? I come from, my background is, knowing like, buy low, sell high type hustle, you know what I mean? So it just kind of made sense. So, kind of ran with it from there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you had a wake-up call, and that wake-up call was like, okay, I need to do something else. And, then you dove into it, and now, 13 years later, now you're one of the best. So, cool. That's cool, man. So tell us about what you're doing currently. Like, what do you do currently, in your business and all that good stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of two sides to it. I have the agency, which is the advertising and creative agency. which is the day-to-day, pay the bills. That's how I make the money, the whole nine. We pretty much focus on YouTube advertising. We do still do some other Google ads, and we do some Facebook stuff, but the majority of what we do is YouTube. And then on the other side of, which my agency kind of feeds another side, which is the investment portfolio side, where I do profit share, rev share, and equity deals in that side. But the agency side gives me the freedom, kind of, I call it wealth, building wealth and making money. You know what I'm saying? I've been good at making money. Now I'm trying to figure out how to build wealth. So that's kind of like the other side that kind of feed that. And this kind of gives me the freedom to kind of play that game. So that's why I do a lot of the e-commerce, like direct-to-consumer, physical products and digital product. I do a lot more stuff on the investment side of the equation with profit share, revenue share type stuff.
Nice, man. That's cool. It's smart. Foundation, keep everything stable, and then this is where you play and invest and make stuff happen on that end when it comes to wealth. That's awesome. What's the one thing amongst all that you're most excited about?
I mean, the portfolio side, I want to get, like, my goal is to, I kind of went through some phases with the kind of investment stuff, and I had quit, like, doing agency, like 2017, and I was, like, going to be this investor because I had, like, money in the bank and all of this, and I learned some hard lessons and lost a bunch of money, and I realized, like, I can't take my foot off the gas. What drives revenue, and because that was really gave me the opportunity to do a lot of things in traveling and networking and meeting people in masterminds, dropping 10, 20, 30, 40 grand on, you know what I'm saying? Like, that gave me the ability to do all of that stuff, and I got away from that. And I learned a hard lesson is, you can't never let your foot up off the gas. But ultimately, like, eventually I want to get to the point where I'm not day-to-day in the operational, side of business, and I can just operate at an investor level so that I'm not actually even in the business, like my buddy Roland Fraser say, be above the business. That's like where I want to go. But there's a process to that,
Totally, man. Hey, I resonate with that too. It sounds like around the same time we had hardships in a way. 2017, you were part of the e-com Success Summit, and that was I had a big gamble around that, where I was trying to kind of change my model and go from selling templated products, essentially, crashed and burned, and I went in 2018 debt, and I've had to bounce back, since then. So I can totally resonate with that. But it just shows that it's all about perseverance. It's all about when those things happen, you just stay positive, you work through it, you bunker down, so to speak, work in, and stay determined to a better place. That's what.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. I mean, I'm on my like third rodeo in 13 years too, because it's what I'm saying. But I didn't go broke this last time. I just like had a lot less money than I had, saved, whatever the case may be. And when that money started getting to a certain point, I was like, okay, I can't keep doing whatever I'm doing because we ain't gonna, we're gonna go bankrupt if I keep on this path. And because I had been bankrupt before, I was like, this is not happening again. So I had the correct course, but perseverance, man.
That's right. I hear you, man. So what's been like the biggest, most successful e-com success to date that you've been involved with that you wouldn't mind sharing?
I would still have to say Organifi. I mean, I don't want Organifi to be the biggest thing that I've ever been involved with. You know what I'm saying? That's my mindset, right? Because it's like I'm like Kobe or Jordan in the mind frame of, I won a championship, I want to go get another one. You know what I'm saying? See what I mean? You know what I mean? I want another one. I want another. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be the dude that won. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to.
You want to keep looking forward.
I want to keep building on. But Organifi, I worked with them about 3.5 years. And initially they were doing digital products. They were making this transition into physical. And I helped them launch and scale Organifi from it went from 0 to 30 million in the span of 3 years. It was crazy. So those guys are still crushing and they're growing, and I don't know what their revenues are, but I'm pretty sure it's way more than 30 now.
Oh yeah, they're crushing it. Yeah,
they're crushing, man. So being a part of that, man, was amazing. I kind of had the freedom, kind of had a blank canvas to work with, if you will. So
nice. What were some of the keys, or strategies or tips that you could maybe share with the audience from that experience that helped you get that client to that 30 million plus?
Yeah, it was a couple things. One catalyst was 2011, late 2011, early 2012. I had this Russian guy I was working with, and these guys, man, they was a piece of work, but we were spending $70 grand a day on Google Display, and they were running, I don't know if you remember back in the day, a lot of the Garcinia Cambogia and acai berry and these types of supplement offers where it's free trial offers.
Yep.
And they was doing this type of thing, but they had these crazy funnels, and I knew what a funnel was, but I didn't understand the full. So these guys were paying, we were paying $70, $80 for a free trial, $7.95. And I was just how are they letting me do that? And then at one point they was go to 100. And at $100 a conversion on that initial action, we were spending 70 grand a day on Google Display. Mind you, they was buying traffic from other places. So these guys were spending crazy. And it was just man, I got to figure this out. So I went down the funnel, and that's kind of how I started understanding, kind of that piece. And obviously I ended up finding out these guys were slamming people's cards. That's basically what they were doing is as soon as you put that credit card in, they're going to take you through that funnel and negative option where they, you know what I'm saying? And then they rebuild hell is another thing. So these guys were doing all of these things that I didn't know about. And once I knew about them, I was telling my wife, I gotta walk away. It was a lot of money, but I can't sleep at night. But it taught me a valuable lesson. The other thing was the YouTube ads. I bought my first YouTube ads in 2012. By 2014, I had spent the first $1 million on the platform. So by the time Organifi come along, I kind of had this YouTube thing in my bag of tricks. I had all of this other Google, background. I had been doing some Facebook ads. I'm sure I had spent 7 figures on Facebook ads too by the time I started working with them. And then I kind of had this whole kind of funnel process and understanding the whole business model really in the supplement space by 2015. I had kind of understood the whole. So by the time I got to them, they basically gave me a blank canvas. It was whatever you can tell us, we're willing to take, and we're willing to listen, and we're hungry. And I kind of had that blank canvas to kind of finally, for the first time, take all of this knowledge that I had gained through all of my experiences and was able to apply that stuff to them. Obviously, they had other people that they were working with as well. That was really amazing too. So I was able to kind of plug into that. Then we used the YouTube ads as a catalyst. So it kind of was just a snowball effect of kind of all of a sudden, I kind of had all of these things. And it was just, I don't know, it was just it was supposed to happen that way. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the story of luck in a way, because luck is not luck. Luck is just preparation,
Laboring under correct knowledge. That's
nice. I like that. I've never heard that before. Laboring underneath correct knowledge. I'm going to take that down. That's really good. Yep. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like what it was, I mean, it was just, you were prepped, you put the work in, the opportunity came, and you were ready, and you made it happen.
And I give them a lot of credit, man, because they gave me a blank canvas. They gave me that opportunity, and that really built my confidence from 2015, 16, 17 to where I am today. My confidence level went through the roof because I was able to see the fruits of, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of changed everything. But it was really a culmination of things that kind of led up to the perfect storm.
Totally, man. So when you look at, your experience there, and you look at your total profit from the advertising, how much, if you can share, I think you can. Well, how much total profit did you generate for Organifi when you went through that success?
Man, I can't even begin I don't really know the numbers exactly. I just know significant. Like, you got to understand, on the YouTube ads, man, we spent alone probably $3 million in that span. But we bought like 1.6 billion impressions, which is like crazy. Yep. So there was like, it was a lot of pieces to that it's hard to say, but I mean, it catapulted that company and that brand to heights that I believe they still probably making money off of some of the stuff that I did. The customers, they have a subscription model, so it's kind of hard to put a number on it. You know what I mean? I just know, like, I don't know. It was huge. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
well, on $3 million in ad spend, that's
just the YouTube ads. There was other things too. So I'm just talking about like the YouTube ads alone. So.
Yeah. What was do you remember what the ROAS overall was in that time frame from just YouTube?
Man, I don't know it. We didn't really track it that way. That's part of like something I can get into, what I call this spillover strategy.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know we talked about before this interview, and you said you had some strategies you were going to share with the audience. You even have some note cards prepped. So yeah, we can dive into that, man.
Strategy. So it's this thing right here. So I'm gonna give you explain this. So this is part of what, having a blank canvas and working with those guys. So when you tracking ROAS, and I have another thing about ROAS too, which is interesting that you asking about ROAS. I got another little thing that I'll talk about, but spillover strategy is really the thing that we didn't really track it as a direct, like we track direct and last click conversion. But we monitored the entire thing to then determine our, I guess it was like ad spend to revenue is kind of the metric that we really looked at, right? And based on the margins and everything like that, we could, we wanted to have a healthy number in terms of how much money we spent and how much actual revenue we generated overall. And then as a percentage, looking at that as a percentage. And the reason why is because, like I talk about this spillover, so if you kind of see this is a simplified version of it. But if you look at this thing, you can see where it says ads, then you have the ad funnel, then you got like Amazon, there's obviously other places you can sell on, right? Then you got search and you got social. So what's happening in this example here is when you drive your ads, the people that click go to your funnel. We push all of those people down the funnel. The purpose of that is to recoup as much revenue, money on the ad spend today as possible. Now, you don't have to be 100% return on day one, day zero even, because if you're just looking purely at that, you're missing a whole other piece. Because what happens is, particularly with YouTube, the non-click behavior here goes over to Amazon, they go to search, they go to social. And so what happens is all of these people are searching for you, they're vetting you, they're looking for your reviews, they're doing all of this. And so what a lot of people don't realize, when you buy ads at scale, you're creating behavior that don't otherwise exist. For example, I remember I was looking to do brand search. And initially, we didn't have no searches on that keyword, Organifi. And then I want to say maybe like 6 months later, we had like 40,000 searches a month on that keyword. And that was the ads created that behavior. That wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Brand
so
awareness,
these are the things that a lot of people be missing out on. So what happens when you have this strategy, these people then cycle through back to your Shopify store and they still end up converting. You kind of get to control, the spillover behavior is also still controlled, because the goal is to make sure all of those other places get spill over will still fall back into where you want them and push them down your funnel. And that's really,
smart.
That's really the difference. And so we never really looked purely at a ROAS number just as a mechanism to determine how to scale.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. You know, I love that because it's like you're driving people to the funnel as a first acquisition strategy. And then, you know, obviously, you know, you try to get them, you try to monetize them right there and, you know, profit from those, you know, customers or break even profit in the customer value cycle. But then because you're driving so much brand awareness and so many clicks, you know, you've got all this brand awareness, which happens organically. Plus you have retargeting, so you can actually follow up those people. And you could take them down, like you said, to the spillover.
Right.
You take them down to where you drive them to Amazon, which, you know, is a safe place to buy and people trust Amazon, which helps the brand, helps, you know, you sell more of your products. Or, you know, they come through social or they come through organic because they're aware of the brand because you're so much on the top end of traffic. You end up, like you said, in your Shopify store. Of course, if you have a good Shopify store with good conversions, good upsells, good downsells, you're going to monetize that organic traffic very well, which goes back to your ads.
Bingo.
Love it, man. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that's cool. You know, and I like how you put that because, like, you know, it's hard to explain that sometimes to people that don't know this because they're so like about direct ROI and measuring all that, and they don't look at it this way, and they need to. So I'm glad that you're talking about it because there is a spillover effect when you are advertising. That direct ROI may not necessarily be measurable, but overall you'll see your growth.
Absolutely. That's really what it boiled down to right there. And so for people that are growth minded, you know, there's a spectrum. I call it growth versus ROI. And your mindset, I get it, right? Because I'm come from ROI. Like I didn't have anything in this game to get something. I had to be really ROI driven. But as I've grown, I understand the value of the growth mentality because the more you slide your mindset down that end of the spectrum, that's when you really can build something significant. That's how you build brands. That's how you build valuable assets. You know what I'm saying? And build wealth. And so I'm just trying to figure, you know, I just was going on this path of figuring out how to take that ROI driven mentality that I know how to do and use it as a mechanism to build wealth. Now, that's really what it boiled down to. It's like, but everybody don't want that. You know, maybe you just want to make a couple $1 million a year and you cool with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to go and play really, really big, like Drew Canoli told me one day we were sitting down, he said, I want to build $1 billion brand. And I was like, great. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the right person. You know what I mean? Because that's the mindset that attracts me to, you know, somebody like Drew because, you know, that type of mindset. That's a growth mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've had similar conversations with people about making 100 million in 3 years. Yeah. You know, you got to have a growth mindset. You got to think big.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for sharing that. You know, and I know you had a few things you wanted to share, so I want to give you the opportunity to do that. Plus, I want to be respectful of your time as well. Were there some other like strategies or tactics that you wanted to like dive into as well?
Yeah, it's another kind of primary kind of component of what I do. And we talked about ROAS, and one of the things that I have been able to figure out, and I actually learned these Russian guys. So you remember the Russian guys we talked about? I actually learned this formula from them guys. Okay. And then there's two pieces of, like, this is really probably all of them really, because once I kind of understood what was going on, I was able to simplify this process and carry it with me, you know, all the way through a lot of the things that I'm doing now, people that I've worked with. I call it back end. I call it break even and back end. Nice. So when you look at this card, and maybe the people watching this have to pause it and take a picture of this, but that R equals 1/M is the break even. That's the break even equation. And it's really simple. R is ROAS, M is margin. And when I say margin, I'm not just talking about product cost. I'm talking about margin in terms of what does it cost to put that product in the customer hand. And what a lot of people don't do, what it forces you to do is figure out what are your numbers. Because a lot of people don't know. They might be selling and don't know what it costs to put that in somebody's hand. You got to figure that out because you got to look at your product itself margin, right? What you sell it for, what it costs to make it. But you got shipping, you got returns, you got chargebacks, refunds, employees, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? That goes along with the acquisition costs, all of these things that ultimately your ROAS is really dependent on what I made, what it cost me, and what's left. And so a simple way to do this, to really know what your break even is just figure out what the margin is, and then go R equals 1 over M. And so margin, like your percentage. So if you look at this, you can see, like I use an example. Let's say I got a 60% margin on everything that I sell when I bag out. I mean, that's a high number.
Well.
I mean, that's a high number for most people. But I do have companies that have like their product margins is 80, 90%. So to get to a 60 after all of this stuff, it's not a regular occurring thing, but it's possible. And in that instant, look at what my ROAS can be to break even, a 1.67. So when I look at Facebook ads, for example, or YouTube ads, for example, and in this instant scenario, if I'm getting to 1.67, I know that I'm breaking even, and all of the money that we make in the future is all gravy. So all of the spillover, and then the rest of it is the back end piece that I talk about, which is your repurchase, subscription, and then I could put partnerships on there. Now, there's a lot of other ways you can have back end, but these are kind of the primary categories, and we drive those primarily through email. So now in the future, when somebody purchases again from me because I emailed them, that didn't cost me anything other than, maybe email service provider, whatever the case may be, but that's negligible, right? If I get subscription revenue on a recurring basis, didn't cost me anything. I already paid for that. If I do any partnerships with other brands, where we may cross promote each other or whatever the case may be, they may mail their customers for me, I mail mine for them, because our products have congruency on some level.
Yeah.
Gravy.
That's huge.
You know what I mean? So all of that money on the back end, that's all gravy train if your front end is a break-even focus. So that's really what I try to do, is just try to break even on my ad spend and acquisition costs. That's really the holy grail to me. If I can break even on acquisition, I'm gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah. Especially if you've got that, revenue optimization after the purchase. It's
absolutely
dialed in. And that's just all systemization. Having good automation in place, having good messaging, copy obviously in place, and just having good management too. Beyond that, because some stuff like promotions, for example, does require someone to be behind the wheel as opposed to it being on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. Bingo, man. So I mean, that's again, there's a lot more to it than that, but just a simplified concept. That's what I be just trying to do, man. I know a lot of people like traffic and numbers and data, and a lot of people that I work with are confused by these things. The best types of, especially on the investment side, the best type of companies for me to work with is folks who got all of the other stuff, except they don't understand the numbers and the data and how to make data-driven decisions, because I can come with that. So what I really look for is delivering greatness, is what I call it. That's how you really build brands, right? At the end of the day, it's like a brand is really like, how do people feel about it, right? And the way you feel about it is when I get it, when I open it, when I wear it, when I consume it, when I whatever, how it makes me feel. And if people have a negative experience, you ain't gonna build no brand. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I want people who are already in that mindset of delivering greatness. Then I can just take this data-driven stuff and attach it onto it. But it's like trying to explain it is like hard. So I've been forced to simplify my concepts down so I can conceptually get on the same page. And then obviously there's a rabbit hole that goes with that. But if I could just get on the same page by simplifying the concept, I've been able to get huge wins from that.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's the lessons you just gave the audience too are so powerful, because I know that we get a lot of people that are trying to get into e-com or new in e-com. They've got a newer business, haven't quite hit, 6 figures a month, for example. Right. They're trying to get that edge. They're trying to figure out how to do this stuff. And, the techniques you just went over are powerful because they're really going to help people think of advertising and getting revenue from advertising and the follow-up process, break even versus profit. They're going to think about all those metrics and those lingos the right way, the wrong way.
Yep. And I mean, just not get caught up in, it's just like, just understand the concept. Once you have the concept from a strategic level, you know what I mean? That's where you gotta, and then on the tactical level, if that ain't your sauce, go find the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, stay in your zone of
Stay in
genius.
your lane,
Yep.
Stay in your zone of genius.
Totally. Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing those. And, I know that I want to be respectful of your time. And so I'm going to go into the bonus round here. And this is like a fun ending to you being on the show today. So the key to this bonus round is I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you have to answer each question with only one word.
Woo.
So what caused your biggest e-com success?
Russians.
That's awesome.
For real, though.
No, I know. That's great. I mean, such a unique answer. Nobody's going to say that ever. That's awesome.
Right.
What advice do you have for other e-com business?
Man, one word. Really 2 words. It's hard for me to deliver greatness.
Greatness, then. Greatness.
Greatness.
All right. How would you describe yourself?
Relentless.
Nice. Love that book, too. What do you see in your...
Investor.
I like it. Well, you keep talking about Roland Frazier. If you keep following him, obviously, the next step is you're going to invest.
Yep.
And you're probably already doing that, though, so that's great.
Absolutely.
Yep. Did you sign up for his Epic Challenge?
I did go through his Epic Challenge. I just didn't have time to do. I know he's got another thing. I was gonna go to one of his intensives, and then COVID kind of happened, and they had to move him back or whatever the case may be. But been knowing Roland for a long time, and me and him, whatever. And I always tell him like, yo, I need to sit in a room with you. I want to all of these masterminds and all of that, but I want to know when I want to know when I can sit next to you, and you know what I'm saying? Because we've had dinner together and things like that, and this guy always gives me like amazing advice and just a different mindset of how to think about things. And to be honest with you, man, every time I talk to him, I feel like I need to go do more. You know what I mean? Like you're right, it drives me in a weird way like that. And yeah, he just I just love the way he think, man. He's a big thinker too, and I just really love that, man, about Roland. Yeah,
absolutely, man. I've done a few things with Roland. He was the closing keynote for summits I've done, and marketer partners in 2014.
Nice.
Group put together. So I was like, privileged to be around him and Ryan and all those guys. I learned a lot from them very early on. Very, grateful. Definitely need to get Roland on the show. I'll probably have to reach out to him.
Yep.
Well, thanks, man, for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. And how can the audience follow you, learn more from you, subscribe to your email list, and possibly even become a client of yours?
Tommie Traffic, man. I'm on that on all of the socials, which I don't really do social really a lot like that. My website, TommieTraffic.com. My name, Tommie with an IE. That's key. Traffic is just like it is, the traffic, right? TommieTraffic.com or at Tommie Traffic, whatever. And, the fastest way to go to my website and contact me there is going to be like we monitor those pretty regularly. Social media might be like a day or two or a week, depending on how we got it. Just don't always like, sometimes I'm really active.
Hey, you're focused.
And then I'm just, because it's like, what it is, man. You go to Facebook to, I log in to Business Manager business.fake, because if I go to direct, I lose an hour before I go to do what I went to do, run my ads and check, you know what I'm saying? So I just, Instagram, the same thing, IG and Twitter. I can't even get into my Twitter account no more, so I don't really know what's up with that. But I don't really YouTube. I consume a lot of videos on there, but I'm not like posting and things like that or whatever.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I mean, they're all distractions. It's all entertainment. You have to regulate the amount of time that you put into those distractions. It's going to take away from you accomplishing your goal, whatever your goal is. So I'm glad totally true. I've been starting to use a lot more do not disturb, on my phone and things like that, just to kind of basically just block stuff out and just. I do find that impulse sometimes hitting me where it's like I'm in the middle of something and I'm like that's a waste of time. It's not going to help me get to where I want to go. And so I've been turning on that do not disturb on my phone like a lot more recently.
Yeah, man. It's but again, man, when you got a lot going on, man, I mean, I got a lot of responsibilities and I have a lot of, and that's part of like building a team, man, now probably more than ever before. I'm in that mindset of team building. And so as a result, though, I have a lot more people outside of like clients that I'm accountable to and for, so I just don't be having the time. And I'm married. I got 3 kids, 2 teenagers, one about to be a teenager. You know what I mean? So that's crazy. So I just don't, I just don't have the time to be, bantering and, you know what I mean? It's just got too many things going on right now. And I'm just trying to get to some next level, right? I'm trying to like get to that next level of maybe I'll never get there because I think I got a curse too. It's like you get to a certain level and it's like, well, I want to do this. I want to do, and I think I'm cursed in that regard too. So, but anyway, yeah, man, social media.
You're going to break through, man. You're going to break through that. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yep.
Man, thank you so much for being on the show. And guys, go to Tommie, IE, so Tommie traffic.com and subscribe to his email list. More from Tommie. He's a legend, as you just found out today. Incredible thing. Big brands like Organifi, best of turn to him, Fraser's. Tommie, thank you so much for being on the show, man. Thank you for sharing such wisdom and knowledge today from your experience, getting results for clients. Guys, like I said, TommieTraffic.com. Go there now and subscribe. Learn more from Tommie Traffic. Thanks, Tommie, for being on the show, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.